hello, Miguel.
I'm Miguel.
I'm Sapphire.
What's Sapphire?
Miguel, you are a classical pianist.
Classical pianist.
And I'm a jazz saxophonist, composer, classical music, and hip-hop beat producer. All right. What has surprised you in the performance? What are you looking for? What are you looking forward to? What surprised me in the performance?
How harshly monotonous it is, in the best possible sense of the word.
How harshly monotonous. Yeah, that's good. I'll just let you take that one.
It's okay. It's like a what'd you say it was like? It was like a hypnotic trance.
Yeah, hypnotic trance.
It was a hypnotic trance.
That's
it's like
good.
it's like a portrait. It's really not an opera. If you go to see an opera, you're not going to enjoy this. You're watching. You're examining something. You're not watching a performance. It's a good way to
Word.
put it.
Totally.
Word.
What has anything changed since you've experienced the performance? Totally. At first, when we were in right in the beginning of the first act, I felt I really enjoyed it actually at the very beginning, and I was like extremely excited. And I think that enjoyment and excitement came from kind of like an intellectual satisfaction, you know. I was sitting there and I was like, wow, this is really hip because he's doing something so revolutionary, but also like so theoretically awesome, you know, like not so much on like an emotional level, as this like repetitive loop, yeah, as this repetitive thing kept going, right around like in the first act with the flutes playing minor triad thing, kind of got like it stopped being such an intellectual thing and more of like an emotional thing, and like I was kind of getting angry, honestly. I was like ugh, like I was getting like really nervous and like couldn't take it anymore, and I was like ugh.
You know, like there's that contrast between the different movements that was just completely different.
Yeah, totally.
And almost primitive rhythms.
Yeah, totally.
It's hypnotic. It's really just hypnotic. It's the best way to describe it.
And then so I was like feeling kind of angry, like not angry, but like on edge. I was like, how am I gonna sit? It was like only half an hour in, and then as it continued to go, I was getting more and more used to it, and I don't think it had to do much with like the change of like the movements, but more of like the just like the amount of time I was sitting there. So from like in a negative standpoint, emotionally, then it became like it wasn't really music anymore. Now it was just like you were listening to stuff or you were experiencing stuff, and you were
an
like,
experience.
Yeah, totally, an experience that affected you like it's almost like meditating or something. I don't know. Because it was just like you're only listening or hearing or seeing like one thing over and over and over and over again, and it was like you know, when you're meditating, you're like concentrating on one thing, you know, like they're like they don't think of anything else. They try to empty their mind. So it was almost like it went from intellectual to emotional to like spiritual. Almost.
It was spiritual. It was sublime.
Totally.
Sublime.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, and I think that had to do with time. I want to say that had to do with time, not the change.
Definitely a time element in there. There's a timelessness to it.
For sure.
Simply because it's so repetitive, kind of like a portrait.
Yeah, totally. It's like
portrait's timeless.
Yeah, totally. It's like T.S. Eliot. You know, he talks about how, you know, the artist is supposed to. You're not like the emotion or like the feeling that the listener or reader or whatever gets, he says, should be, there's a course of events that the art is being put in that like makes it person feel that way, and I feel like that's a great example of that, because it's not like they're playing sad melodic things to make you sad, but like you're having this repetitive thing and it's like changing your emotions. It's like, I guess, you know, definitely that.
Also, our buddy Igor Stravinsky once said, music by its very nature is powerless to compel people, and I think what he meant by that what really relates to this. It's not necessarily the music itself. It's the reaction you get. It's the experience you get. It's perspective.
Yeah. Hip.
Should we like throw a shout out to our teacher?
Oh yeah, Dr. Van Manen
From Interlochen Arts Academy.
Interlochen Arts Academy. Thrown out there. We probably should have mentioned her name. We probably said some stupid stuff that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, she told us not to.
Yeah, we just
One
did.
reason too.
So now you know where our stupid stuff comes from. Okay, what do you look for in arts experience? How does Einstein on the beach fit with this idea? I think we just talked about that.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about. Like
Yeah.
perspective and
Well-
experience. Well, we said it was an experience.
Yeah, definitely.
It's not listening.
We were talking about it was like 4-dimensional, you know?
Yeah, it's a 4-dimensional portrait. It's no opera.
Yeah. We were saying 3-dimensional, but then you just think of like, I don't know,
There's
like
still the musical element.
yeah, and the time element. That's why I think 4-dimensional. Doesn't fourth dimension have
That's
to
the
do with
best.
time?
That's the best. That's the
Right?
best way to
Yeah,
describe it.
it's like it's intense. We tried to never leave. We tried to stay for
We
5
tried
hours.
to, and every time we
Nah.
made it to the door,
We-
there was just something interesting up next. But
And we went back. I went back and sat down.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
tried to leave, and then we kept back and sat down. We tried to leave, and went back and sat down, and then finally
finally,
I
our
forced
stomachs
myself.
got to us.
Yeah, we didn't eat any lunch,
No breakfast.
no breakfast.
Right.
So yeah, we don't have to say anything. Is there anything to conclude? Watch it.
Watch it. Yeah,
or experience it.
You definitely need to experience this.
Yeah. I mean, it probably is
it's
never
really
gonna.
something else. You won't ever see anything like this for a while. It's
Yeah.
it's really different.
It's like it's like a roller coaster, not a really posh roller coaster.
Yeah.
A really high class roller
That,
coaster.
the D minor. Yeah. It's like that.
Oh yeah, there's that one like triad thing.
There's that one D minor thing. That's
was
when you
it
need to
actually
leave.
D minor?
I
don't know, whatever. But it was this
Whatever it
minor
was,
triad
there's this
thing with
minor
3
thing.
flutes playing, and like legitimately, I was talking
That-
about that like angry emotional thing, dude.
That's where it got to me.
I was seriously like, but that's good, you know. Maybe that's what he was trying to do. Well, maybe it doesn't really matter, you know, what he was trying to do. But like, that's what I was feeling, at least. Yeah. So go watch it, go experience it. The 4th Dimension, Einstein on the Beach, Philip Glass. Shout out to Dr. Van Manen, Interlochen Arts Academy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hip.
4-dimensional portrait. It's not an opera.
Not an opera.
Don't go to listen.
Don't go to listen.
Go to
Well, I mean, go to listen.
Go to
I mean,
listen, but-
listen is an experience.
Yeah. And don't be afraid to take a break. You're gonna need it.
Yeah. It'd be good if you paced yourself, I think. Because we went like 2.5 acts, or like 3 acts, and then we left.
Yeah.
And then we were like gone for like a whole act just because we couldn't like.
It was too much. It was
It was a lot.
too much. It's taxing.
It was taxing. It's fun taxing, you know, because Philip Glass is a taxi driver.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Funny. And that's a
That's
good
funny.
place to.
To end. Philip Glass, taxi driver, Einstein on the Beach, Interlochen Arts Academy, 4th Dimension. Goodbye, Miguel Sanford.